Hey there, money warriors. What if I told you that your bank account might be getting a surprise boost of $1,400? That's right, and no, this isn't clickbait or another internet scam. I'm talking about real money from the IRS, and today, I'm breaking down everything you need to know about this payment that could be heading your way. But before you start planning how to spend that cash, let me tell you something crucial. This payment isn't for everyone, and the eligibility requirements might surprise you. In fact, what I'm about to share in the next few minutes could be the difference between getting that $1,400 deposit or missing out entirely. Let's rewind for a moment. You might be wondering, wait, another stimulus check? In 2025? Well, this is where things get interesting. This isn't your typical stimulus payment. It's actually part of a specialized program that many Americans don't even know exists. The IRS has been quietly working on this distribution plan, and today we're going to dive deep into every detail you need to know. First, let me paint you a picture. Imagine checking your bank account one morning and seeing an extra $1,400 sitting there. Sounds pretty good, right? Well, that's exactly what's happening for thousands of Americans right now. But here's the kicker, this money isn't just falling from the sky. There's a method to the madness, and understanding it could be your golden ticket. Now let's talk about why this is happening. The IRS isn't just feeling generous, this distribution is actually part of a larger economic strategy. You see, as our economy continues to evolve post-pandemic, certain groups of Americans have been identified as needing additional support. This $1,400 payment is targeted specifically at these groups, and you might be surprised to find yourself among them. I actually heard about this first from my cousin Sarah. She called me one morning, absolutely ecstatic about finding an unexpected deposit in her account. At first, I thought it was a mistake. We've all heard those stories about bank errors, right? But after doing some digging and reaching out to my network of financial experts, I discovered this was very real, and there was a whole system behind it. Let's get into the meat of what you really want to know: who's eligible. The eligibility criteria are actually pretty specific, and this is where you need to pay close attention. The IRS has set up several key requirements, and meeting these could mean the difference between getting that $1,400 or not. First up is income thresholds. Unlike previous stimulus payments, these income limits have been adjusted for current economic conditions. For single filers, the income threshold starts at a different point than you might expect. If you're making less than $75,000 annually, you're in the sweet spot. For heads of household, that number jumps to $112,500, and married couples filing jointly need to be under $150,000. But here's something interesting: these aren't hard cutoffs. There's actually a phase-out period, which means even if you're slightly above these thresholds, you might still be eligible for a partial payment. This is something many people miss, and it could mean leaving money on the table. Now, let's talk about something that's crucial, but often overlooked: tax filing status. Your 2024 tax return plays a bigger role than you might think. If you haven't filed yet, you might want to hit pause on this video and take care of that first, because it could directly impact your eligibility for this payment. Here's where it gets really interesting: dependents. The rules around dependents for this payment are different from what we've seen before. If you have dependents, regardless of their age, this could actually work in your favor. The IRS has expanded the definition of qualifying dependents, and this could mean extra money for your household. Let me tell you about something that most other sources aren't talking about: special circumstances. There are actually several situations that could make you eligible, even if you think you don't qualify at first glance. For example, if you experienced a significant change in income between 2023 and 2024, you might be eligible even if your previous income was too high. Veterans and Social Security recipients, listen up, there are specific provisions just for you. The IRS has set up special processing procedures for these groups, and it could mean a more streamlined path to receiving your payment. Now, here's where the rubber meets the road. What do you actually need to do to get this payment? First things first, don't fall for those scam websites claiming they can help you get your payment faster. The only legitimate way to handle this is through official IRS channels. Let me walk you through the exact steps you need to take. First, you'll want to check your eligibility status on the official IRS website. Don't worry, I'll put the exact link in the description below. The IRS has created a special portal just for this purpose, and it's actually pretty user-friendly. Before we go further, let me share some insider knowledge about common mistakes people are making with this payment. These are things I've seen firsthand, and avoiding them could save you a lot of headaches. The biggest mistake? Not updating your direct deposit information with the IRS. If you've changed banks since your last tax return, you need to update this information ASAP. Otherwise, your payment could end up in limbo, and nobody wants that. Another common error is assuming you're not eligible without actually checking. I've seen so many people leave money on the table simply because they thought they wouldn't qualify. Don't make this mistake. Take the time to verify your eligibility. Let's talk timing. The IRS isn't sending all these payments out at once. They're using a systematic approach, and understanding this system could help you know when to expect your payment. The distribution is actually happening in waves, based on several factors including your filing method and income level. If you're wondering about the exact schedule, here's the breakdown. The first wave of payments started going out to electronic filers with direct deposit information on file. The second wave includes paper check recipients, and the final wave covers EIP card recipients. Now, let's address something important. What if you're eligible, but don't receive your payment? Don't panic. The IRS has set up a specific process for this situation, and I'm going to walk you through it step by step. First, you'll want to use the IRS's Get My Payment tool. This will tell you if your payment has been scheduled and how it will be delivered. If you see your payment has been scheduled but hasn't arrived, there's a specific timeline you need to wait before taking action. Here's something interesting about the payment processing that most people don't know about. The way your bank handles these deposits can actually affect when you see the money in your account. Some banks process these payments immediately, while others might take a few days. If you're using a digital banking platform or a newer fintech company, you might actually see your payment earlier than traditional bank users. This is because many of these platforms make funds available as soon as they receive the payment notification. Let's talk about some special situations that might affect your payment. If you've recently moved, changed banks, or had a significant life change, there are specific steps you need to take to ensure you receive your payment. For those who've moved recently, updating your address with the IRS is crucial. But here's a pro tip: don't just rely on filing a change of address with the post office. You need to specifically update your information with the IRS using Form 8822. This payment is going to affect different groups in different ways. For families with children, this could be a significant boost to your household budget. For seniors on fixed incomes, it might provide some much-needed financial flexibility. And for young adults just starting their careers, it could be an opportunity to build some emergency savings. Let me share a few real examples I've encountered. I spoke with a family in Ohio who used their payment to finally start their emergency fund. A retired couple in Florida used it to cover some unexpected medical expenses. These are real people making real use of these funds. Now, let's look ahead a bit. This payment could have some interesting implications for your 2025 taxes. While the payment itself isn't taxable income, there are some important considerations you need to keep in mind for your future tax planning. One thing to note: this payment won't affect any other benefits you might be receiving. This includes Social Security, disability benefits, or any other federal aid programs. This is important because I've heard from many people who were worried about losing other benefits. As we wrap up, let me leave you with some final thoughts. This $1,400 payment isn't just about the money, it's about understanding how to navigate the system and ensure you're not missing out on benefits you're entitled to receive. Remember, the key to successfully receiving this payment is staying informed and taking action when needed. Don't wait for the payment to come to you. Be proactive in checking your eligibility and ensuring your information is up to date. If you found this information helpful, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with family and friends who might benefit from this information. Hit that like button and subscribe for more updates on financial news that affects your wallet. And here's one last thing I'm curious to hear from you. Drop a comment below letting me know what you plan to do with your $1,400 if you're eligible. Will you save it? Invest it? Pay off some bills? Let's start a conversation and help each other make the most of this opportunity. Thanks for watching, and remember, staying informed is the first step to financial success. I'll see you in the next video.